What's up gamers, Cryptico here, and welcome back to Lowering the Mark, a show where I analyze the current and former world records of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe time trial runs to see how these records get faster over time. We'll look at elements such as the loadout, racing lines, and mushroom usage to better understand what's bringing these times down. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to know when my videos go live. For today's episode, we're going to take a look at a rather popular DLC course that's also very complex to time trial, Dragon Driftway at 150cc. On May 7th, 2017, the world record for this run was set at 1 minute 46.868 seconds by the English player Larvitar. Fast forward to August 16th, 2020, and the record was brought down to 1 minute 40.803 seconds by the Japanese player Somen. That's a massive 6-second improvement between records and a 5.7% faster time. Our former world record holder Larvitar has broken 24 world records across 2 unique runs and has spent 18 days holding at least one world record. By contrast, our current world record holder Somen has broken over 100 world records across 17 unique runs and has spent over 1,000 days holding at least one world record. Including this one, Somen also holds 5 current world records as of today, and has a history of holding some of the longest lasting records in the game's history. At pre-release, the world record was set at just under 151, and within a few days it would come all the way down to 146, mostly thanks to Larvitar. The French player Extreme took over and grabbed the next 3 second breaks, hitting 145, 144, and 143 respectively. After that, the Japanese player Kai battled with Extreme for a bit on the way down to 142. From there, the record would fall by mere hundreds at a time thanks to a smattering of players and wouldn't see another second break until August of 2019. And American player Doodle was the first one to go 141 before Alberto started to run the course. Within a week of that first 141, he almost single-handedly brought the record down by 9/10 of a second. Somen would beat Alberto to the sub and get the first 140 ever recorded and then improve upon that time a little more. In total, the world record was broken 80 times by 19 different players. These loadouts are a bit similar but have some obvious differences in terms of performance. Larvitar goes with the combo of Roy driving the Biddy Buggy with the Leaf tires and the Bowser Kite glider, while Somen goes with the combo of Baby Daisy also driving the Biddy Buggy but with the roller wheels and the paper glider. So the differences in speed and handling stem from the heavy and light characters being used, although Larvitar was able to increase his handling a bit thanks to his other choices. The Biddy Buggy is what increased both players' acceleration and mini-turbo stats, with Somen reaping near max points in both areas. Surprisingly, it's Somen who comes away with the higher grip stat even with the roller wheels and a lighter character. Larvitar keeps the performance close for the most part, and this loadout would definitely fare well in other courses, but once you see Somen's run, you'll understand why his loadout is much more optimized for it. This course is pretty interesting even though it's just a long ride along the body of a wooden dragon. It's got lots of twists and turns that make for a pretty chaotic time trial. I personally don't like the course, but it is pretty cool to watch someone who is good at video games go really fast on it. Larvitar starts off with a rocket start and hits this first jump boost before going into the first turn and getting a quick mini turbo before going wide on turn 2 and collecting the first 3 coins and an ultra mini turbo he'll use to ride out the end of S1. After hitting that same jump boost, Somen is able to quickly charge up a mini turbo before the first turn and instead get a super mini turbo before collecting those same 3 coins and grabbing an ultra mini turbo to close out the first section. It's a pretty tight fix to get that first mini turbo before the first turn like that, but Somen was able to pull it off thanks to that max mini turbo stat. He leads Larvitar by just over 1/10 of a second at the end of S1. Larvitar's S2 is centered around getting these next few coins. He takes a tight first turn and then chains together 2 more mini turbos while collecting 6 coins to increase his top speed. After getting that ultra mini turbo, he'll ride out the boost to end this section the same way he did on S1. Now pay attention because this is where Somen's run goes from 0 to 100 real quick. I'm going to play this at full speed and just let y'all watch it, and we'll take a look at it again in more detail on lap 2. After a similar first turn, Somen just ignores all the rules and pulls one of the most impressive no-item shortcuts in the game. This cut was so massive that it increases his lead over Larvitar to nearly 2 seconds going into S3. After hitting this jump boost, Larvitar will edge grind a bit on this first turn and pick up a super mini turbo to chain with a tight second turn and mini turbo before grabbing 3 additional jump boosts on his way to the final turn, in which he uses his first mushroom to cut through the grass. After that, it's just one last jump boost and then he hits the finish line. Somin opts to instead go wide and charge up an Ultra Mini Turbo and hit 3 of the spin boosters and chains a Super Mini Turbo before hitting those same 3 jump boosts. He fits in another quick Mini Turbo before taking that same grass cut with the mushroom, and then picks up another quick Mini Turbo before the final jump boost, and grabs another Mini Turbo just before the finish line. That max Mini Turbo stat is serving Somin well, as he's able to grab quick boosts in the most unlikely places that Larvitar just couldn't get with his loadout. After the first lap, Somin leads by just over 1.8 seconds. Not much changes for Larvitar in S1 on lap 2. He just takes that second turn tighter because there are no coins to collect, but other than that, this section is identical to lap 1. Since Somin is just really good at video games, he finds a way to grab an additional Mini Turbo before that first jump boost. After that, he picks up his same Mini Turbo before the first turn, Super Mini Turbo after that, and a tighter Ultra Mini Turbo around the second turn to close out S2, where his lead has jumped to just over 2.1 seconds going into S2. The only thing I can tell you about Larvitar's S2 is that he takes a better line throughout the winding road, so let's just dissect whatever the heck Somin just did on lap 1. It all starts with the Ultra Mini Turbo. The boost from that gives him enough speed to make this cut happen. After that, he starts charging up a Mini Turbo and then times a hop to just make it over this gap and back onto the road. That Mini Turbo there provides him with a cushion of speed to ensure that he doesn't fall down. To avoid hitting the wall, he quickly hops to the left and charges up another Mini Turbo to close out this section. This cut is the only real major difference between these two runs, and it's the reason Somin's world record is over 6 seconds faster than Larvitar's time. The lead for Somin now sits at 3.5 seconds going into S3. Only one other small change in Larvitar's S3, and it's that he hits this one spin booster on his way to those 3 jump boosts and just carries out the rest of the section the same way he did on lap 1. Somin makes a slight change as well. He does a little edge grinding instead of hitting the spin boosters and chains 2 Super Mini Turbos together before hitting the same jump boosts, quick Mini Turbos, and mushroom cut to close out the second lap. Somin leads by just under 4 seconds going into the final lap and outsplit Larvitar's lap 2 by well over 2 seconds. I really don't have much else to say about either run on lap 3, so that means it's time for an announcement. I'm in the process of building a proper gaming computer, and that means I'll finally be able to do some bigger things for the channel. I'm going to experiment with streaming, playing other games, and trying some ideas I've been sitting on for some time. I'll still be working on this series, but don't be surprised if you see something totally unrelated get uploaded from time to time. I'll update you guys with what I got going on here soon, so stay tuned. There go another pointless monologue to put us at the end of the race, where Somin just showed all of us that he deserves to be in the GOAT conversation among the time trial community. He came flying through the finish line to post a time that was well over 6 seconds faster than Larvitar's former world record. He made this record happen by hitting a huge no-item shortcut on all 3 laps, grabbing a lot of quick Mini Turbos, and keeping the speed of max Mini Turbos up for almost the entire run. As a casual player that's tried this strat, I can say that this man Somin is absolutely insane. It's definitely not easy to time those quick Mini Turbos and maintain composure while staying on this incredibly precise line. I wish I could have talked to him more about this run, but that didn't happen this episode, so let's skip ahead to the best known splits instead. The best known splits show that while this run is pretty optimized, there are still quite a few frames that can be knocked off. Funnily enough, all 3 splits are owned by the same player, but it's not the world record holder. Lap 1 can be improved by a couple frames, lap 2 has a few more that can be knocked off, and lap 3 is about the closest one to perfect. It's interesting that all these splits are owned by someone who isn't the world record holder. On one hand, you have someone putting up the fastest possible sometime, and on the other hand, you have someone who successfully put together a full run at around that same pace. Maybe one day we'll see Army string together a faster time, or even someone else for that matter, but who knows. The worldwide top 10 consists of 6 national and 4 continental record holders. At the top we have Somin, and right behind him with only the 2nd time in the world under 141 we have European record holder Army, and in 3rd sits Spanish record holder Alberto, just a few tenths back from world record. 4th and 5th place belong to Asian player Amond and the Canadian record holder Braden. The bottom half of the top 10 are all separated by 5 100ths of a second and include big names such as Lemon, Kai, and Panda. Truly a world-class leaderboard. Anyone on this list no doubt has the talent to be the world record holder, but Somin and Army seem to have put the top spot out of reach from the rest of the pack. It's a strong record on a rather crazy course, but it's only a matter of time before those last few frames are knocked off. That's the end of episode 31 and the first episode of season 4. Not many huge changes this season, but I did add some quality of life updates that I hope make this series more enjoyable. I've said this many times already, but thank you for the support this series has gotten. I'm really glad I get to be the guy that makes these videos, and I wouldn't have it any other way. As always, if you enjoyed this video, like and share it with your friends and comment on which course you'd like me to analyze next. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.